IBX Toy Cat. Welcome back to another live stream on the internet that I think is real this time. How are you all doing? My name is actually Andrew. I feel weird though when YouTubers do that thing where it's like, hey, my name is, Jack Destroys Cat 69, but you can call me Timothy. And it's like, why do you need to say your real name? Why do you have such a weird online name if you're just going to use your real name? Why not just be called Andrew? It's like, no, call me Toy Cat. That's my online name. That's a sign that you're probably more fond of me than the strangers who yell at me on the street. When I hear my name yelled in real life, I have a bad time. Anyway, today I had a dumb idea, and we've been doing it a little bit already. The idea is, what if we took all the leaves from one biome and replaced it with the leaves of another? So I've currently made a jungle tree, a jungle spruce, 2 jungle spruces actually, and the goal is to continue making jungle spruces, and hopefully to make some spruce jungles, although that's a lot harder. So, hello Corrugate Industries, how are you doing today? I'm doing great. My favorite thing is stream issues, and you know what we had? A back-to-back version of them. No, it's really frustrating to me, like, I think about, like, complexity and challenge a lot. Partly because it's part of the job when making those Minecraft maps. But also partly just because, like, it always seems like what we want as people is we want easy, we want easily doable. But it's interesting how many people, at least, the people I interact with, actually like challenge. But challenge is like, like, you'd figure, like, oh, you like things hard, so we want to all go live as bears in the woods, or whatever else. But most, like, what we actually want is we want, like, challenges as long as they're within our control, like, being challenged on, okay, oh god, I need to replicate what's going on the rest of here. Challenges, challenges on things that we don't control, it's like, well, that's not a challenge at that point, that's just something being broken. But, like, having, like, a problem that you're, like a Rubik's Cube, even though it's, like, it seems undoable, it seems so crazy hard, everyone gets that, like, yeah, there are strategies, ways to make that happen. Whereas it's less fun to deal with, say, an internet crisis going down. Because the scale of that problem is so big that no one human can fix it. Even if someone from the ISP did know what was going wrong, they wouldn't be able to fix it instantaneously, besides telling me to turn it off and on again, of course, which is my favorite pro tip. Thank you very much, Scriber Gaming Squad 103. Wait, Scriber Game... thank you for being a subscriber, Mr. Gaming Squad 103. Your message otherwise confuses me greatly. But you know what? That is your freedom, your right to do. You can confuse me all you like, if that's what you're into. So we're going to make the tree be wider on one side than the other, because that's apparently how it was before. I'm not even sure. But I really do like the way these trees are turning out. Like, something about jungle and spruce, like, maybe I picked the most photogenic combination, because jungle leaves have these weird little bushes, and they look like peaches, honestly, like raw apples, maybe. Raw apples, is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing. But it looks good. It looks good. So thank you, Corrugate Industries. Thank you for the love and the support. I think it's I think it's also it's funny, Toycat has an Ender, but never uses it to get level 30 or repair his Elytra. An Ender? An Enderman farm, is something you mean. Yeah, no, every farm I ever make in Minecraft starts working bizarrely after the update. So I've concluded in Bedrock, there's no point having any of the non-standard farms, because none of them will work in the long run anyway. So why get your hopes? There's no point having anything in life, because everything falls apart anyway. We all see societal collapse around us, like, every single day. Why bother doing anything ever? It's, there's a fun existential question. No, it is really interesting, because that is how so much of the world really does operate. Like, there are some optimists out there that are, like, continually making super optimistic, like, guesses about the future. And then, like, every, like, 5 or 10 years, like, reality kind of comes and sinks back in. And it's like, oh, yeah, it turns out you can't just, guess you can't just make up profits. Or, like, argue that your business doesn't really need to have customers to to be a thing, or like, you know, another example is like, I don't know, we see there's like certain trends that like they build up and then they dissipate. Like, you know what? I love living in cities still. Like, that's every, like, you know, 5-10 years when there's a disease or a financial crash, people are like, you know what? If all the money is fake anyway, I'd at least rather live in a big house. And then there's like an exodus to the, you know, I just find it interesting, the like optimism and pessimism are like two things that build our society, and we're often much more optimistic than pessimistic, which seems like it lead to a better world. But sometimes it don't be that way. How are you, Toy Cat? There's a creeper behind you. Oh no! Is that real? I think that's totally going to be happening. So, as for a little update on the Let's Play world, because here's the scoop, right? I got myself partnered with the marketplace thing earlier this year, so now I can release maps. Obviously, I can't just release them. There's a whole like process. And believe me, is that process fun? I enjoy it so much all the time. But so yeah, there's a whole process, and so the Let's Play world is currently going through the process, and my survival map just finished the process. I built a challenge map for Minecraft Survival. It's coming out next Tuesday. Like, I've never been so curious about something, because this is unlike anything I've ever done before. Like, I'm selling a thing to end users that, you know, arguably is like kind of separate to the YouTube channel. I'm hopefully gonna, you know, obviously I'm promoting it here, so maybe it's not entirely separate, but it's like, I don't know how this will go. Will people enjoy it, or will this be, you know, or will it turn out with some like fatal flaw that everyone missed? And it's kind of cool. Also, thank you, Corrugate Industries. How are you doing today, man? I hope you're doing good. We are in fact back. I think we just have to accept that this stream is gonna like die as far as like YouTube recommendation stats, etc. goes, and just be like, let's hang out. Let's have a conversation. How are you all doing today? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I intend to actually later today. There's like one of the dumbest like cool things to me. You know, everything that anyone enjoys can be seen as dumb by someone else. Like, I think it's insane that some people genuinely think their hobbies are the cool ones and everyone else's are dumb. Like, you know, I'm into the cool things. Everyone else that anyone enjoys, that's just dumb. But so there's this thing that just seems so cool to me. It's like imagine like a bouncy castle, but instead of just like a castle, a bouncing house or whatever else. Oh, that rhymed. Imagine instead of that, it's like floating on water and there's like a bunch of stuff. And that is what I'm hopefully gonna be doing later. I don't know for sure. I had this whole like, there's a lot of things that like got kind of delayed today because I was just not good with them. But yeah, that's the hope. I think hey, thank you. Thank you, Corrugate Industries, for £10 more. Whoa, man, you are. I still remember when you just sent in the random D&D messages a couple months ago. But you are too generous. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, I've been having a bad day, and it's, you know, maybe a problem that we're all so financially motivated that it can fix it. But it's nice here, like it's nice seeing people here, like the you know, it's fun. It resonates. It makes me feel good knowing this many people, even through all those issues, have managed to show up and hang out. You know, let's have a little evening. Oh man, I need to. Okay, let's minimize that over there. Okay, and then move this over here. I got it. Working till 7 p.m, taking calls, watching some Toy Cat and chill. Is that not the dream? Is that not what we're all here for? Watch some Toy Cat, have a chill time. But no, it's like whenever things go really badly, it's kind of sad that it's only then, but like it's interesting. That's the time you realize how you know, that's when you see the loyal ones, to put it in internet speak. But no, it's cool to see you all here today. Hope you're not too upset about the first stream. We all love you so much, Toy Cat, says Mother Russia. I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know why I'm even... Like, in theory, I should just be like, oh, whatever, I can't stream. That's That's, too bad for all of you, suckers. But that's not how I, like, operate. My brain's like, I'm here. My job, my duty is to, to make a stream. You guys, you want to get away from your, day-to-day life. You don't want to hear about my, goal. Like, and the goal is to, like, make that happen. And so when you fail, it's not just failing, you, although it is also failing me, but it's like failing, like it's failing my duty, like it's weird that we have this concept, but like people want to be useful. I think especially certain gender predispositions, whatever, certain characteristics which are more common in some people than in others. There we go. Lead you to being like almost defined by what you can do for others. But that, I guess to some extent that's how we're all defined, right? Like we all wanna add more to the world than we want to take away from it. At least most sane people do. And it's kind of a bummer when you're like, okay, so this is the thing people want from me. It's like a lot of people look at that and go, wow, that's so easy, man. I could totally do that. It's like, okay, the way you prove them wrong is you make it good. You make it work. And then like, and then the thing that like literally everyone's internet can do, the most basic of tasks doesn't work. And you're like, what's making McBella78? How are you doing today? Because when it comes to the whole YouTube thing, it is, like it's a streaming, playing games on YouTube, doing all those things. Their career paths of like 99.9% failure rate. So in other words, like for every one person who succeeds, there's like 999 who failed, or at least at the very least would love to do it, are willing to do that at the same time. And it's almost like you have like an obligation to people like that, to like be good at what you do, to not try and be too caught up in it, it's interesting to see at least. I mean, nice tree house in the CG game. It's odd mix of bamboo forests, river, and jungle. Getting a PC soon for Bedrock. Oh, that's cool, man. Oh Christ. Oh, this is all going so well. Okay, so I'm basically out of spruce leaves again. Oh, I've got fewer jungle leaves. We're gonna go do another spruce tree, just because I'm really enjoying the effect we're having here. First and foremost, so let's start hammering away at my Neverite Silk Touch Herb. What happened to your skin? Oh yes, I'm playing on a. Do you want to see what happened to my skin? If I go to skins and I'm like, what skins do I own? I don't own any. I can buy skins. I can use Realms Plus skins. I can't use my own paid skins. I blame it on malice, but the skin system in Minecraft is so broken that it's just like, oh yeah, that's just how it is. I change my skin 100 times a year, not because I have 100 skins, because I have to. You didn't fail us. You're very. You didn't fail us. We very love and appreciate your opinions, and they won't change over one stream. I know it's like that's true, and I know it. Like that is like factually how that is probably for most people. Like 5% of people were like, this is dumb. Why don't I watch these?
Welcome to America. Sorry for missing the past few streams. Been busy. P.S. What's your favorite video that you've made?
Hey, thank you, Brody Privet. I'm enjoying America a lot. I went to a very interesting steakhouse yesterday. That was like, they pulled out the table for me. You know how sometimes you go places that's fancy, you pull out a chair for you. This place pulled out a table for me. You ever think about that? How can it be a bad day when this isn't e-mugging? This isn't e-mugging. Put your hands in the air and give me your £4.73, Emma Swift. I wonder why £4.73. $6 US maybe? I'll never know. But thank you, Emma Swift. Do you remember when the super chat was your wife? I remember that marriage. I'm glad to be out of that toxic relationship. She'd always talk to me, but she'd never respond to my questions. Like I felt like I was just a trophy wife to her. I felt like she was just, like she always knew how much I made, so I felt like she was just into me for the money. It was a terrible relationship. Does this go out to here? I guess it must, right? And then it goes out to here, and oh god. See, it's so easy to lose track of like how a tree even works, which is a weird sentence to say actually. Now that I do say it, so yeah, let's just do a bunch of trees on the top actually. No wait, I want to do a tree all the way down. Let's not just do the easy bits. Let's do the hard bits too. There's no point starting easy and not finishing. So cat 2020, and that's that. Okay. I'm having this like ridiculously hard time adjusting to like streaming on a laptop. Like I'm so used to having multiple monitors. Like doing basic stuff here is like hard, and that's what kind of what I'm talking about. Like whenever I struggle with something that I know is like easy for someone else, it's like, why am I struggling with this, man? What's the scoop with that? It's a very interesting feeling where you know like you should be good at something, you could be good at something. There's so much proof around you, but then like you're not. Like I don't know, like I'm so bad at making thumbnails. Like all of the good thumbnails, you know, on the streams that started like a year ago, you know, they're made by Jura, just a guy who was like, oh, I do this for fun. Like I learned how to make sarcastic knockoff YouTuber thumbnails, and apparently you like them. And it's kind of a weird thing that like, I guess it's that reminder we're all specialized and do different things and all worthwhile in different ways, or whatever. But on the internet, you're like so exposed to layers of criticism if you can't do everything. So you gotta like pretend you're at least competent in everything. It's a weird thing, I guess. It's a weird thing. I wish we were more comfortable, because you know this our whole society is built on the idea of specialization, but you're not allowed to admit you're not good at certain things on YouTube or whatever. For that whole, it's a job that affects lots of people. I don't understand. You know, I understand networks, but I don't understand why and how they break and all these other trillion things. I just can't work with it. Stay in Vegas. People are buying all the bog roll here again. Oh yeah, there's it's kind of wild to me that when I left for America, America was like the most infected country in the world by a long shot. Now every other country is like catching up, and I guess like just, you know, the speed isn't going that much faster here. I will probably be wrong about that in the long run, but it's just it's this fascinating thing that like, yeah, turns out we were only temporarily rid of the thing. But I really would like to, like, we still only have theories, we don't have facts on why in the winter, like, infections go away, you know, they, like, or infections get higher, sorry. In the summer, they go down. Like, are people just not getting tested? Or is something about summer actually, like, good for, you know, the human body fighting off these diseases? It doesn't make sense either way, right? There's one of those, like, unexplained phenomenons where everyone has an explanation because, again, everyone's got to be an expert. We can't just admit, I don't understand diseases. I don't know why numbers would be going, why it bases on the season. But it seems to, right? It seems to. Why the toilet roll, though? See, I think the interesting thing is, right, everyone sees it as a perfect duplication of what's happened last year. What happened earlier this year, I should say. And so the craziest thing about, like, supply shortages is there was the right amount for everyone. It's just some people were hoarding. But because of that, it became a scarce supply, and therefore people, I wouldn't say had to hoard, but they felt like they had to hoard. And so now everyone's like, oh, so people will feel like they have to hoard again. I'd better start, you know, hoarding before that happens, so I can have all the toilet paper. And then we just start the same cycle. You get me? Like, it's... I find it to be incredibly wild what the world is going through. And I honestly do think, this is just my kind of retrospect take. When we look at this back, a lot of people are saying, like, we'll look at all the deaths we caused needlessly. I think we'll look the other way. I think we'll look at how unglobalized the world has become. You know, countries shutting borders overnight, you know, like unheard of things. The idea that, like, you know, like every country's on its own, like fighting for supplies and stuff. Like, all that stuff that happened, I think we're going to see is, you know, like, to go a step worse. Like, you know, the number of years our planet is set back. You know, pretty much any goal long term is being set back a huge while. I think we'll look at it as being like, and we did that, And like, you know, like if we look back and we're like, oh, but we saved X number of lives. But right now you look at the stats and it's like the only thing that really worked are like islands who like isolated themselves early. No other border protections work. No other measures have done a hugely great deal. Like it just delayed certain countries getting, etc. It's like we're gonna look back and we're gonna go like, man, what happened to us all? The trust between humans down some insane amount. Suicide rates through the roof. You know, like there are a lot of people who have been isolated. You know, domestic abuse stuff through the roof. Like everything, every like measurable metric, has, with very few exceptions, has seen humanity go downhill. And I just think to myself like, how, like, if we could have just had like, you know, whatever the cost would have been, would people be willing to pay that? You know, and I wonder how we'll look back at it, because right now the human cost of COVID is something like 1 in 1,000 humans. Wait, is that correct? I know it's for most countries it is. For the world, the human cost is 1 in 7,000 humans have over the last 9 months now. Let's call it 6 months. Let's be generous. So over the course of a year, 1 in 3,500, assuming it was equal, when in reality it's like gone downhill. What number of? It's kind of it's one of those like fun like would you rather questions. One of those like how would you do questions of like how many, you know, like everyone says that every life is worthwhile, but if it was like, okay, so we can save this one person's life, or all of us can have a Lambo, you know, like one country does that and they're like, person's life. On the other hand, Lambos go real fast. They go vroom vroom. They make good noises that I enjoy. Like, or you know, more practically, it's like, okay, we can have one person alive, or we can have everyone live for a little bit longer, etc., etc. I wonder when you make the switch on that. Why do you play on a controller? I like playing Minecraft on a controller. I know that's a controversial take, but do you know what else is a controversial take? Pretty much anything I said. Someone's gonna dislike what I said there. They're gonna be like, you know, no, Toy Cat, can't believe you're saying that human life's I'm like, no, I'm not saying. I'm saying one of the things that we do very badly as humans is like we do it in the medical field like discreetly, but we value lives over life years, right? Like what is the most important thing? And like I'd say enjoyment and then life years like are the two factors. Whereas right now, like, you know, a number of lives is a scary fact that you get to, you know, like push people around with and be like, you hear about how bad this was? I don't even know how to like destroy these trees any further. These are looking so ugly. Like, these are looking great. I'm loving the progress here. Over here, I'm not loving it so much. I'm hating it. So I guess the plan is just to fly up. Oh, man, you see that? Like, Realms is so bugged. What just happened there? Controversial take. Pulp orange juice isn't that bad. Can one of the mods ban Pie Dog? That opinion is objectively wrong, and I'm not here. I'm not going to stand for that in my live stream chat. Unless the human life is a bad human. Right, that's what makes it even more complex. Like, you know what? Would you give your life to help save someone else's? Probably. What if it was a bad person? Ooh, gets a bit more complex, doesn't it? Like, we're gonna have to. This is gonna be the event that I think makes us reevaluate stuff. Like, what if we've made some like catastrophic prioritization errors in the last year, and the question is like, you know, how do you work out the best way to make those on the spot? And the ideal should be like have a plan ready, etc. But like, you know, then you have to like trying to weigh up the value of a life is hard enough normally before you start trying to weigh it up against like, you know, someone having a good life versus a whatever life, etc., etc. And that's before you start trying to be like, okay, so we kind of get that, if nothing else. This is such an ugly tree. I don't know how to save it, honestly. I want to save it, can't save it. Okay, we can't go down. I just gotta get all the way to that tree, and then we gotta remove the leaves. There we go. Easier said than done. So imagine 4K Minecraft Pocket Edition. I think I can play Minecraft Pocket Edition 4K on my laptop. It looks surprisingly. You know, I this is an Xbox One X. It's officially meant to be playing Minecraft in 4K. I mean, they said they would do it, and then they just didn't. Which you gotta admit, that was a clever solution. What if you just said, yeah, burn it, just leave it bold? Would it be pulp juice or just an orange? That's a good question. You know, I never thought about it. Let's have a deep conversation about pulp, shall we? By the way, I don't know why you call it pulp in America. It's I like the term in the UK. It's bits. It's like there's little bits of fruit in there. Like what? Whoever uses the term pulp outside of juice anyway. Whereas bits, everyone gets it. Like, oh yeah, there are particulates or whatever in the thing, and it's all good. But no, I think, you know, like one of the philosophical debates is always like, what is the value of a human life? What is the value of X, Y, Z? And I feel like it's always convenient to like skip over them. And I wonder if we'll continue to do that, or if we'll have to like look back and be like, man, this has been a disaster, right? Or maybe like my real thought, and I'm still sticking by this, is we'll look back at 2020 and be like, ah, yeah, that was a thing, I guess. Oh no, because most people remember it like, if you think about the cost of like, for a lot of people, it's just, oh yeah, I didn't go to school. Oh, I hated that. Oh, I got paid most of my salary not to go to work. Oh, you know, like I think a lot of people, if you're watching this, are probably not in those categories. But imagine if you are, like, what a non-notable thing this is. Like, I loved snow days. Like, I know, like, you know, like, parents don't like snow days. But, you know, personally, I love snow days. Imagine if it was announced, like, oh, guess what? There's 4 weeks of snow days in a row. I'd be like, yeah. Like, well, every day I woke up and I just, like, dreamed. I prayed. I'd look out the window the first thing whenever I woke up in school and be like, was there a blizzard? Was there a blizzard? There aren't blizzards in the part of the country I live in, but I hoped, you know, because, you know, like, freak weather events. Because if you live somewhere where there are blizzards regularly, like, your place knows how to prepare. If you live somewhere there's not snow most years, they have no idea how to get off the roads. And then guess what? The boilers at the school freeze or something like that. You don't have to go to school. Yeah. I thought, you know, okay, chat. Now that we've got a big group of people here, I want to ask the dumb questions that, like, I just want to know. Has anyone ever, like, gone to school on the day it's closed? Because what happens? Like, I was always the guy who was like, okay, I'm going to just, if it even seems like the school's closed, I'm just not going to go, you know, just in case. Because I used to have to walk something like 4 miles to get to school. I think it was, no, 5 kilometers. So I don't know what that is in miles. It was a dumb amount it was a long walk. So I would just, like, not chance it. What happens if you show up to school and then, like, are there people there telling you to go home? Or do you just show up and it's empty? Nothing happens, the doors are locked. A blizzard, is this a northern thing? I'm too near the equator to understand. Where do you live? Chijop. Yeah, you're not gonna guess that's a Southeast Asian name, where there are in fact no blizzards. Hey, thank you, Mischievous. It is good to see you here today. I hope you are doing delightfully. It's always nice to see you. It kind of goes back in that message of just like, yeah, it's fun, even when things break awfully. It's cool to see who manages to make it here, regardless, you know. So thank you for managing to make it here, regardless. I know you have many choices of your live stream provider, and thank you for choosing me. Okay, let's start going down on this tree now. This is a fun crazy thought. The only people at school on the weekends are the janitors. What are janitors doing at school on a weekend? Like, I guess cleaning it. Look, aren't they there during the week in American school? That's what TV show teaches me, at least. You know, I think in the UK we call them caretakers, not janitors, which I think is a little bit of a nicer name. There was, maybe this is just my school, but, like, every school I went to, the caretaker would, like, live in the school, basically, like, right next to it. That's pretty part of their job, actually. Like, they probably got the house as, like, a benefit. You know, that's cool if so. But, so yeah, I guess they probably must have been there on the weekends. I never saw them. You know, there's a lot of questions. Who keeps the school running? Like, if a school has internet issues, who calls up? Is that, like, the head teacher's problem? What's the deal? One sec, I just got a weird notification I haven't seen before. Oh, it's Xbox Game Pass. Halo 3 ODST is now on Game Pass. You know, isn't Halo a Microsoft thing anyway? Shouldn't have been there regardless. That's my deep question. As a teacher's kid, I usually had to go because she was working. Me and the 3 others just kind of hung around. Yeah, I heard, I guess I knew someone in school. I liked her, actually. She was like the son of a teacher. Yeah, like the teacher was her father. I remember, like, I only ever, like, heard the teacher speak once. And I remember him saying something like, oh yeah, I don't have a nice car, but that's because I just see a car as a thing to get me from A to B. And it's like, of course you'd say that, mister. I don't have a nice car. You know, I want to hear someone with a Ferrari be like, oh, it's just a way to get me from A to B. Or, like, you know, even Ferraris, like, let's be honest, not a practical solution. Like, people who are like... I always felt like, if you have to tell a room full of children about how happy you are with your car, and how you totally don't need a nicer one. It's like, come on, man, you know, you don't have to offload your middle-life crisis onto us. Like, we get it. You're having some problems. She was the son of a teacher. No, that is not how you say it. She was oh, wait, I get you right. I said it wrong. My bad. She was the son of a teacher. Prove me wrong, internet. Prove me wrong. But, like, I personally, I actually do agree. Like, as an adult, I think, like, fuel efficiency, probably pretty important. I think having I'd like to have a Tesla because, like, or, like, you know, any electric vehicle, honestly, because electricity is crazy cheap compared to fuel to run a car. Like, it's just inherently more efficient. But, like, you know, you don't get to be like, oh yeah, the reason that I only have $1 is because I think it looks prettier than the $100 bill. And it's like, by the way, look, I have American money, so if you give me American money, I could be like, you know what, Brody Privet gave $1.99. I got this minus a cent. Yeah. Wait, do you want to see something? I've always wanted to do this. I'm gonna do it live the first time. I've got 5 $1 bills right here. I'm gonna... If someone donates $5, I'll make it rain on myself. There we go. I just made my dream into a money-making opportunity. It's like my whole job over and again. Love you, Toycat. What's the point of this? I have a bigger question for you, friend. What is the point of anything? Why, I swallowed that water a lot. The good news is it's a wet cough, so no corona for me, am I right? Ugh. You need to learn how to drive so you can get a Tesla. If I want to spend any long amount of time in America, I think I have to learn to drive. Like, it's a tragedy, but it is true. Like, I realized that, like, even if I want to walk to the store, not only is it half an hour to, like, a close store, it's 2 blocks away. But also it's, like, hellishly hot out here versus an air-conditioned car or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I can imagine now why people probably... Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Okay. We're all good. I kind of get why people choose... Okay. I kind of get why people choose to... Why it's not really even an option here. It's just like, you do it or you suffer. And it's like, okay, it's a nice set of options you gave me there. Friends. Do appreciate it. Brody Privet says $4.99. Have it. You know what? Look at this. I got $5. $5. It's what I got. Thank you. Oh yeah, look at this. I love American money. It's just so fake to me. Like, it's literally made of... I know it's not paper. It's like cotton paper. But it looks like it's paper. It tears like it's paper. Look at that. Oh, actually, it doesn't tear like it's paper. Okay, that's actually kind of hard to tear. Like, it's not as hard as our money, plastic, but that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna do this. It all just came together. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. You know, I'm trying my best here, friends. There we go. You know. Money is great. I don't know, just $1 bills are such a dumb concept to me because $1 is like a very like someone's gonna be like, Toy Cat, $1 is so much. And it's like $1 in comparison to other major currencies that have notes as a currency is very, very little. I know it might be a lot compared to, you know, like if you live in. I think $1 actually is a lot because it buys like a lot of food, but like $1 is objectively both a lot and not a lot at the same time. And so let's focus on the not a lot bit. And it's cool that you can get like, you know, with like if you had in the UK the smallest note is £5. Over here you get like $6.50, $7, and you'd have like 7 notes in exchange for the one smallest there. Like, and they seem so worthless. I don't know why they propagate everywhere. Like why. If I was American, I'd be using dollar coins all the time. Like dollar coins are so much better. They slot into machines easier. Like, have you guys ever tried putting a dollar bill in a vending machine? This is one of my first. This is one of my first like. This is one of my first I guess American experiences. But you know, there's a lot of machines that take money here. Some of those are gambling based. Some of those are vending machines. And every time I put money in there, I'm like, oh, it comes back out on me. It's like, try this again, sir. It's like coins. You throw them in there. And they're good because they're pieces of metal. They don't break. Thank you, Link Minecrafter, and thank you, Jess Limmer.
Woman shrugging, medium light skin tone.
You know, I've missed the medium light skin tone, Jess Limmer. How is it going? It is going good. We're in the same country today. So that currency that you donated me, what is that? The pound? I thought that was a weight, not a currency. Look, I'm being American. You enjoying it? But no, so thank you very much, Jess Limmer. All is well here, and I hope that the medium light skin tone tribe is also going well. And if it's not going well, then I hope you don't die in a house fire. A lot of people have been terrified about my plug situation. Oh yeah, I'm going to be doing a setup video. I guess I was going to say later today, but like soon, real soon, there'll be a setting uppy video. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it a little bit. I guess we're gonna go out like 2, I think it's how it was, and then do the little corners as well. You know, it's real hard to replace the leaves and trees. This is a surprisingly involved task. Because I guess it's like all down to like how much memory can you even have when you're replacing tree leaves. And the answer in my case is not as much as you might assume. I think that went out one more, so screw it. Just in case I'm wrong, we'll pretend I was doing it deliberately. As an American, I wish we could switch to the metric system already. I think it's interesting because I try to play devil's advocate on this every now and then. Because you know whenever someone says like, ho ho, there's one system of measurement that's been to the moon and there's one that hasn't. And it's like, actually, when America went to the moon, a lot of countries weren't metric. It's in the time since then that all the other countries have gone metric. And even America said it would go metric, but then backed out of its pledges at the last minute. Which, say what you will about liking a measurement system, but if you back out of doing something because people don't like it, you know, like, you know, it's not something to be proud of, you know, like, oh yeah, look how proud I am of the fact that I really wanted to do something, and then my voters told me no. I guess you can be proud that you're a democracy if you can use your democracy to do dumb things. You know, in my country, I could not vote for the imperial system again. But anyway, so my one devil's advocate system is like, if America is a big enough country that people produce products for it regardless of the measurements, and like they just have to learn, there's no real huge downside. And for most Americans, having a different measurement system, if it's the one their parents used, is better for them, because at least, you know, like, it's only a problem when you speak to the outside world. When you speak to a British person, and I can't talk temperature of Americans. They're like, oh, it's 37 degrees outside. What does that mean? I hear that and I think it's very warm. You say that, you think it's very cold. What am I meant to take from your information that you gave me? The answer is nothing. Hey, Toycat, you should learn to swim. It's oh, by the way, I have to go soon, but I hope the stream goes well. Also, Toycat is yes. Thank you, Nohimura. I hope you're doing well today. I think the stream is suddenly like, I have no idea what was broken, but it's going well now. You know what? I don't know what, don't know why, don't know how, don't know who, don't know we, but by the way, someone said I should learn to swim. I actually am, like, because I have a pool where I'm staying. I've been trying to. I've been swimming. It's been a whole fun thing. Speaking of fun things where I'm staying, so this is my progress so far. Are you liking it, chat? I found something called cat cookies. So in the UK, we call dry cat food cat biscuits, which, if you think about it, translates into American as cat cookies. But look at it. The little
Toy cat tax, now in USD. Glad to see the stream has stabilized.
Hey, thank you, Evictus, for the toy cat tax in USD, which is worth less than any other than my home currency, at least, because of these various things. Oh yeah, look at this. Someone explained Fahrenheit to me as a percentage. 100F is like 100% hot, and 0F is like 0% hot, and that changed my life. Okay, I've heard that one before, but it's also dumb. It's so dumb, because first of all, zero Fahrenheit is not 0% hot. It gets colder than that, but also, I would say freezing point is where it's 0% hot. That's my personal take. Tell me if you disagree. Except don't tell me you disagree, because you're dumb. Anyway, so, the other issue of it to me is the fact that it goes a lot above 100. Like here it's been 115 kind of regularly. Is that 115% hot? Because then if you're saying it that way, it's like, well then, that doesn't really help me. That's just telling me that 100 is really hot and 0 is not hot. You can make the exact same comment in Celsius and be like, oh yeah, so the way it works is 100 is 100%, hot, like, will boil water. 0 is 0% hot. Water will freeze. And then you're like, oh yeah, but humans burn when you go outside at like 45. For a long time at 55, but for a medium time at 50, for an amount of time at 45, you will burn like surface burns, not sunburn, surface burns. So like, I would argue that even for that dumb, like, because so many Americans tell me this, and they're like, aha, I got you, I made our system great. It's like, first of all, the system wasn't designed that way. You're like retroactively adding a justification on that doesn't really make too much sense. But like, that's fine, it doesn't have to be designed to be good, right? But the other problem, so I can't rant about measurement system. The other problem here is that if you are going to justify it that way, it's because the only other one that is defensible is like, oh yeah, so here's the problem. Like with Celsius is less precise than Fahrenheit. 107 tells me a lot more than 42. And it's like, you can use fraction. No one has ever in the entire history of the UK been like, it's 32 degrees. And they're like, 32 would be too hot. 31 would be too cold. I just wish there was more precision in that. It's like, no, even if you had to use Fahrenheit only to the nearest 5 degrees, right? Imagine if that was a thing. You'd still be pretty good at telling the temperature, right? Can anyone honestly here in the chat tell me if you had to use Fahrenheit only to the nearest 5 degrees, that it would change your life in the slightest? And I will find you a liar. A single person who says that. The magic number is 273. Is that where they line up again? These biscuits taste like cereal. Like, when it's like the most bland form of cookie? That's what these taste like. Can't say I'm a huge fan. Stay hydrated, drink some ramen water. But yeah, I find it to be wild that like people, it's kind of that whole tribes team thing, right? Somehow measurement, like just to clarify, I wouldn't mind if the whole world used imperial. Like if that was the way we had to do it, sure. I prefer Celsius just because for certain things like liquid, it's easier. The distance, also easier. I can tell you a mile pretty intuitively. Can't tell you a foot or a yard. Although I know my own height in foot, so I guess I can tell you. When it comes to imperial measurements, I'm like, I know me height, I know this height. Metric units are like, intuitively get. Probably because I was taught them. But I think the dumbest thing is, like, tribalism is such a strong thing in humans. And, like, there's a reason why, Can you work out why why humans have tribe-based logic. I'll give you some time. Like oh damn it. It makes sense as to why we're so tribally based sometimes. But the fact that even something as simple as a measurement system, people will work out which one they have. They'll hear there's a debate, and they'll jump on the debate with their side as the basis. I hate this so much because there's so many big, like, huge issues that face, people everywhere. Huge court cases, perhaps, or whatever else. Like it happened with the whole O.J. Simpson thing. Like, people follow a case, they work out which, what side their tribe is on, and then they're like, aha, that is how this goes. It's like, we shouldn't want things to be based, like, just because people we like want those things, just because we are part of a group that, you don't have to defend your current position. You can be wrong about something and it not make you a worse person. If you're wrong about something and once you start defending your position though, it starts to become your position rather than the one you happen to hold. Like, okay, here's give me an example. I really like I don't know. I like Japan. I think that I think that the marketplace is not an awful thing. What's another opinion that I hold? I think American currency looks dumb, except for Evictus. Thank you for your American currency. Love it. That doesn't look dumb in the slightest. But hey Toycat, what's your favorite finger food or cheese if you don't want to answer that? I love boneless chicken wings, even though I know that they're not actually chicken wings, but they taste, like, pretend that they're wings, but they're also chicken nuggets. So good. Because they come with hot sauce usually, like saucy nuggets, perhaps you could call them. It was me who asked, something that you learn, something that's useful, fun, and can save your life. It's surprising how few people can actually, this is something that I think shocks a lot of Americans, because I think America has one of the higher percentages of, like, swimmers in the world. Like, I think every developed country is, like, high, but America's, like, shockingly high. But an interesting fact you might like to know is that most people around, the vast majority of human beings can't swim. And you might think, like, oh, is it like 60-40, like 40% of people can swim, 60% of people can't? No, it's like 90+% of human beings cannot swim. It is a very new phenomenon to be able to swim for leisure. Like, oh yeah, so I swim. Like most people, you put them in water, they die. That is the given around the world. Even if you look within America, if you look based on the racial group, there are certain people groups that will swim significantly less than half the time. Like most, we had like 3 international students drown here this summer in just one weekend, right? Like people. Wait, let's put it another way. To be able to swim at a young age, you have to have constant exposure to a pool, with like some body of water like that, and it's I know, like, so let's use the second superpower of the world, right? The Chinese. Let's look at them and be like, oh no, I gotta do. 1 sec. Let's see what this is. 54% of people can't swim. That's according to the American Red Cross, and that's 54% of Americans who can't swim. So if 54% of Americans can't swim, what percent of human beings can't swim? But keep in mind that America has a high swimming rate. Anyway, so and according to that, African Americans, apparently it's like 1 in 3 African Americans can swim, so 2 in 3 can't. Which I think mostly is down to the wealth factor. Like it's partially just like, one of the things that like blows my mind that's true. Like it's something I think about why, and I think about like solutions all the time, because when you have a multi-ethnic society like America, the fact that there is the phrase African Americans, white Americans, Asian Americans, and Pacific Islanders or whatever else. There's like 5 groups or whatever. One of the things I find really interesting is how most people have friends of their same race, but then also like if you're going to commit crimes, you commit it against your same race. Like sometimes people like to use the fact that like, oh, did you know the X group commits the most crimes? You know the group, but if someone's gonna be rude to me by saying it, but it's like, but also they're most of the time the victims of crimes. So it makes it really complex to talk about so many issues. Like, I don't know, even if you want to talk about like policing rates, like who benefits the most from crime? It's like same group that it receives the worst from it. The fact that like people have such high exposure to, even when you live in a country which is meant to be like lots of people, a pot of people banding together. It's fascinating when you see that not happen, right? It's fascinating when you see the opposite of that. Even in the UK, like, which is not America, it's like there was a group of friends that were like the majority of Indians like all knew each other, and like they were friends, they were cousins in some way or something at least. But I find it crazy that happens here. I find it interesting because like it doesn't make any sense to me. And partially people like to be like, well, if you're white, you don't see race the same way. It's like, okay, we'll brush that off to the side and be like, okay, I just don't get it because of, I just don't get how skin color works because of my skin color or something. But it's like, but how does that lead people to, like, why do people? Is that because one of the quotes from some, I don't know who it is, but like, racism is learned, right? That's what people always assume, and it totally is. Like, to be super negatively prejudiced. But then why do we, by instinct, see people as like other? Why do those things happen? Why do people see people that look the same as them as being inherently more, like friend worthy, or like like? Do you get me? Because you can define some of it with neighborhoods. You can define some of it with class. Like socially. But I wonder where the rest of the gap comes in. And no one's willing to have that conversation because it like borders so closely on racist. I worried as I was saying that, like, man, someone's gonna take one thing I said, they're gonna apply it to everything else. It's gonna be a whole, gonna get me in some trouble, I reckon. But it's like, no, we have a genuine question to ask how human beings like analyze other human beings minus all the other factors. And I wonder if you even can work that out. Like, can you ever have a world? Can we ever answer those questions, or is it like, is doing the science okay? No one's gonna fund that science. No one's excited to hear the answer, unless it's like super good, right? And that kind of get to go off that, actually. Something I find interesting is like how science works, because I used to imagine, like, has anyone else thought this way too? We're like, oh yeah, so there's just a group of scientists and they do like science things all day. And then every now and then we hear something they did. Like, they just discovered that Mars or Venus has, like, water in it, right? Toy Cat is over party. Right, there's some... The fact that there are some topics you can't have a conversation about is scary to me. But, like, as an individual, the best thing I can do is be like, okay, let's move on from those conversations that we're not allowed to have. So how about the weather? Oh, thank you, Ariokin.
This is my first dono on today. 2 years ago I started watching you. Also, you think Bedrock is doing getting love from its devs? And I can join Java servers from Bedrock BDW?
Oh yeah, no, okay, one of the things I've found crazy that I've been trying to check out, I've just been so busy, there is a current plugin that's been developed that allows Bedrock players to join Java servers. It is insane, and there's a lot of, like, questions and things. Racism isn't learned because humans creating different social groups isn't learned. It's part of the gang mindset that the groups that is mind's different and can't be trusted. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, one of the things that I hate is in-group, out-group mindset. People that are like me are good. People that are not like me are bad. People who have... But it's not even like me. It's like people who are part of the same tribe as me. You can join a tribe of people who are entirely different. But the question I have is, like, is it just because one of the most visible differences between humans is that? Like, if for instance, race was hard to see, but hair color was much more visible, would we sort ourselves that way? Because we don't, right? Even though people who are blonde, technically speaking, have different... And so the question is, like, so why is that one of the factors? Because I remember never, if you look at a group at school, it's like, you never see same hair colors band together. Or maybe you do actually. I think I could be wrong with women. Like this is just my school experience. You find generally do band together by hair color, but maybe pure coincidence. Actually, wait, chat. Tell me this right now. At your school, it has to be school. It can't work for workplace because you're like actually mature by the time you get there. In your schools, did people, group together by hair color more often than you would expect by random chance? Because I had a fair number of, I don't wanna toot my own horn, talk about my high tolerance here, but I had a fair number of blonde friends. I know. Tolerant toy cat. Oh, that's a cool name. Yes, no. Yes, no. Hey, thank you, Coyote Stock. Dude. They used to group people together by the size of their skulls. You know what? It's not the size of the skull that counts, it's what's on the inside. That's what people say. Actually, I guess the brain is inside the skull. I'll give you a pass on this one. Society. My BFF was brown haired and I am blonde. Okay, so that was a coincidence in my school. But it is a widely known fact that people, group together, by their, their little groups or whatever. And, sometimes those groups are super good. Like, the worrying thing about groups like that is, like, if your group prioritizes, like, doing well in school, you also do well in school. I know this because I used to think, like, college was super lame. Whenever, I'd be like, I don't really care about that. And if people were like, I'd be like, yeah, look, this is me being cool. But then I went to a different college, and everyone there, like, took it so seriously. And I was like, yeah, took it more seriously than you. How you like that, suckers? You see, we're picking up oak leaves. That makes this whole thing even more complex. We won't think about that too much. We'll just keep on going anyway. Oh, it's all oak leaves. Oh, damn. Okay, I'm gonna take a bunch of spruce leaves. Or maybe I'll grow a jungle tree, or I don't even know at this point. This has been so long for such a small payoff, but I think that's the beauty in the challenge, right? The beauty is that you never really know. But yeah, to go back to what I was saying, most people are grouped by how athletic or nerdy you are. I heard that's a thing in America, but I never really believe it. Like, I get that it probably is true because enough people say it, but it also sounds so dumb. But I guess, like, if that's how you do it, that's how you do it. Okay, so I kind of like the results. I'm not gonna lie. I think there's some merits to this little project. Wait, let's look at them from over the other side. I think that's why parents care about who their kids talk to. Yeah, I used to think it was entirely irrelevant, but like, the people you make friends with will genuinely change so much about your life. If you become friends with the stoners, you are going to become one by chance. If you become friends with super uptight people, like I've heard the phrase that like you're the average of the 5 people closest to you in your life or something like that. I think it has a little bit of truth. I think you can be a particularly upright person, but most people like easygoing people, and easygoing people without even thinking about it, like pick up the opinions, the thought processes, some mannerisms from your friends. Like there's so many dumb words. A word for a cigarette that no one else not like. I think someone must have made it as like blem or something. It's like, how does that happen? Anyway, there's a lot of like dumb words. But when you hear a dumb word from someone who's not in your group, you're like, oh, why do people say that? That's dumb. When it's from someone in your group, you're like, oh, that's a word we use now. It's fascinating. So today we made like 1.5 jungle trees. Very ugly jungle trees. We made about 6. Look at that. There's some spruce leaves left. We have to go fix those. I think my friends do influence a lot, along with my partner. Yeah, I think like that's why you say like the 5 closest people, right? Because then if you have a partner, you don't really consider them a friend, even though they are like you consider them a boy/girlfriend or whatever. But I should remove all of this and then just come back later and finish it then. No, I won't remember where it is. If I can't remember it now, am I going to remember it in X amount of time? I'll just take the spruce leaves from the middle here and hope that it makes the tree look better. Okay, let's go back now. Let's summarize by saying this was a lot of fun, and it reminds you that we expect things to be a certain way, and then when they're very slightly off, Sometimes the results are fun. I really do actually like this. I think this is the dumbest project that I totally want to do again at some point. I'm sorry today's stream broke at first. To anyone who affected, my apologies. Thank you to all the people who came out anyway. Like I can't describe how fortunate I feel that there are not only not that there's anyone, but like dozens of people, hundreds of people who want to show up, play some Minecraft together, have a chill time. And I just want to, before I go, say thank you for watching. Thank you to anyone who tipped. Thank you to anyone who just showed up in the slightest. It must have been a lot of effort, and I appreciate that. But also, next Tuesday, Minecraft Ultra Hard Survival Scorched. It's coming out. It's gonna be 660 Minecoins. I am so hyped. If you wanna play a actual challenging survival map, please do pick it up and let me know how that goes for you. I am so curious. I have no expectation. It's just a whole new thing that I'm doing, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it. So check it out. Ultra Hard Survival Scorched, releasing on Tuesday. That's 5 days from now, I think. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you had a nice day, because I'll see you all in the next day. Goodbye. I didn't really eat this morning. I'm gonna go do that now, I think. See you later.